We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, Ulti TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Ulti TV.
One, two, time,
Hey Wilson, where you guys starting? What? How are you starting? This is how I'm starting. E. Good man, yourself? How are you going? Oh, you doing good like that? That was the spots. Oh yeah? Oh, did you? Nice. What's the name on? So you guys need a different take. Is that like whatever you're doing, Dixon? Wow, with this, good that. Less. So you just select the people on the line. So you're doing for dark team. So they just start. Just double check. Yeah, so if you want to know a bit more, so your team is doing East Adelaide Force, which is the black team. That's the game, starts at 8:15. The wind is that way, 14 miles per hour, direction goes go is that way because they're starting on O. That is starting on O. So starting on O, safe. And now you just select the people. You just I'll name the people for you. Alice, Ben Howley, Greg, Jim, Keith, and Joe Petrie. I'm not feeling good. One more. Keith. Remember Keith? Jim, Greg, Sean Ace. Whoever picks up the disc, say Greg. And when he catches it, catch, so until a drop or something. Oh. Sorry.
Okay, welcome to round 6 of the 2021 Super League. This is the second game of the night, West Beach Titans versus East Adelaide Force. My name's Sam Cowan, and I am joined by most successful captain in Super League history, Andy Maddox.
Well,
how you doing, Andy?
Potentially. Thanks.
Well,
I don't know if those stats check out, but
I'm pretty sure they do. How many times have you won?
I won 2 out of 4.
2 out of 4? I thought you won 3.
And I should have won the other 2.
Okay,
but,
we'll give them to you then.
The odd dodgy call.
Yeah.
It happens.
For sure. Oh.
But thank you for the kudos.
That's what I've been telling everyone, so if it's not true, we'll just say it is until it becomes true. That's how information works these days.
So Johnny Warren White with the pull with the breeze.
So I'd say this is probably the first upset of the season when Blue managed, the Titans managed to get up on the Force
so
last
I'm guessing
round.
Which ones are the Titans?
Titans are blue.
Okay, I'm with you now.
Because I thought Ben's team looks really strong.
Yeah.
As Joe takes a nice grab over Marty. I don't know if he's in there though.
Season,
he doesn't think he's in.
The cones are a little confusing.
Puts Dallas for the goal.
Very nice.
Big
Alice
celebration for the first.
That's a good get. Maybe Wilson wasn't watching properly.
Nice, easy upwinder to start off with for the Force. Marty has assumed it's in, I'm guessing, because he doesn't want to play ED.
Wilson
just got two-stepped by Alice.
Very switched on there. Well done.
All right, so the Force have lost to Blue in the last round, and they lost to the Flyers as well. I don't know, they just seem a little bit less invincible. Like, you see them have Greg and Sean, and they look super strong. I don't know, what do you think the secret to beating them is?
Well, good question. I don't know. I wish I knew the secret to beating anyone in this league, but I did tip the black team, whatever they are,
to win the whole thing.
To win the whole thing. But blue was my next guess, the Titans, to come in second. You never know. Wilson is looking like a very strong captain these days. He's gotten a couple of wins under his belt, and
so
he seems to pick quite wisely.
Right now, the Titans are playing offense, and they have the greatest round 10 pick ever in Nick Everinatis. So my question to you is, if Wilson wins this league, is his victory A, mostly invalidated, or B, completely invalidated?
Well, was Nick a dodgy round 10?
He said maybe for every single game, and he has shown up for every single game.
I believe those rules are going to be changing.
I think the Nick rule is going to come in where...
That's when you should just huck it, you know. That's where I would have just hucked it. That's where I regret it if I get a throwaway right in the end zone there, little one. Yeah,
but those short field turns really kill you, especially for the breaks. Ugh.
All right, front of stack.
Ben's got the disc. Greg's the isolation.
Ben's got a lot of confidence to throw anything here, and he's done it.
Probably would have.
That doesn't normally happen. I don't know.
They have an elite.
He throws away a lot deep shots, but
yeah. He has an elite handler in Sean Lace, who I would be happy to see pick up that disc in the front of the end zone.
That's a good point. Yeah, he's got two very, very strong handlers. I think he's just got a lot of confidence.
Bit of Captain Courageous going on.
But he also had his best receiver at the front.
Yeah, you back Greg to do all that.
To beat even Johnny.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Sean, bit of mix up there, could have been a turn. And round
the greatest 10-round pick ever has thrown the deep to Wilson.
Oh! Wilson normally hangs on to those. That was a great bid. I thought he was going to come up with
it. I thought that was in the bag. You'd back Wilson to catch that 90% of the time, I reckon. It's only the easy ones that Wilson drops.
Was it a same third throw? I think he had a lot of space
definitely
to throw it.
Definitely a same third throw.
So for those of you who don't know, throwing it into the same third, something I do sometimes too often, is not a good idea. Often results in a turnover.
Generally frowned upon,
so if you divide the field into
Sid's a bit caught here. Hong's put in a great mark.
Long ways.
He's going to have to do a lot.
Oh, he's put it.
Hong's called the stall.
And Johnny gets the deep.
I reckon it's going to go back to Hong here.
That seemed like a fast count. I think if you run the numbers, usually it's about 6 or 7 seconds most.
Somebody
most
put the clock on slow-mo.
Can we get a frame rate count on that? Shout out to Mike Palmer.
Yeah.
Puts a lot of energy into Ulti TV and a lot of passion for the sport.
Yeah, Mike Palmer's running the one-man show tonight, doing the camera boom and the nuclear football. So huge thanks to him. I think Rexy called him in at the last minute, and he's dragged himself out here, and he's doing both games by himself.
For the love of the game.
Yeah, Rexy's getting a COVID test, so called up the super sub in Mike Palmer. He's doing everything.
So Marty cut early. You could call that an
Sam
S-cut,
Tonkin picking up the disc.
Sam's strong handler, strong utility.
No Connor tonight, which I'd say is a big part of the dynamic duo that is Hong and Connor. Oh, Sid gets it back.
He's stuck. Well done, Sid. He's cutting.
He's taken off.
No, Sean's very disciplined.
He's gone to double coverage.
But he's got a beautiful under there. Sid, beautiful under. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, but I guess you can't yell at someone who drops it. Just one of those things that happens. No one means to
You just want him to get that D back.
So what's the
It's
setup
a great
here?
hand block.
Dennis running deep. Very reliable cutter, Dennis. I know you rate him.
I love Dennis.
And out to Nick, who's wearing grey, very confusingly, but that's his...
Greatest 10th round pick in the history of Super League.
That is definitely his strength. Big grabs, wearing the jumper.
He's going to have to take off that grey jumper, though.
While he does it.
Yeah. I don't know if that jumper's woofed if approved. Nice little open side movement by Hong.
Lovely cut. I mean, it is the open side. That was an open side. Look, Murray, I don't know what happened. He got caught behind. sometimes you get really scared of the breakthroughs. If a couple, we talked about compounding problems earlier, and if your team lets a couple of breakthroughs off, suddenly the upfield defenders start edging on the break side, and then everything comes undone.
Especially when you get those power positions with the open side dump sets, you really got to cover that open side because the disc is flowing that way.
Oh, look at that slow-mo.
Nick spikes his jumper. Beautiful.
Swoosh.
Yeah, big swish.
Wilson's really grown in confidence. Even he's got a couple of wins under his belt, but it seems like he's even more confident now with his captaining. Just takes the reins. In the past, I think he picked really well. Maybe luck, maybe.
I think he got
nicely. He researched well.
I think he named his team
Always
after his good luck last year, where he got both Bens, got Ben Powley and Ben Foley, and that became the name of his team.
Yeah.
Which I understand.
Sometimes it can just fall into your lap and you just take it
so
as a captain. I remember those moments that I was very excited as a captain.
Yeah, I think so. Ben Foley has gone second round pick.
They got Keith back handling as well. Allison easy under there. A lot of space.
Sean's going to have his work cut out here because Alice is not going to stop.
And Sean is training.
Anna has put a lot of pressure on Keith there.
Really strong. Alice is free again on the other side, but
Anna's putting a great mark on Keith, and Johnny's just let Greg get the easy reset.
Big gainer on the break side.
Nobody take advantage of it though. Nice little break to Joe.
To the open side, very nice play to get it out of that space. But the stack gets a little bit disconnected. I don't know if it's a Super League thing or a general thing, like people trying to get the points, but they get disconnected and stuck in the end zone.
I think it's definitely
to cut at the disc still.
A function of nobody training together, and you just kind of learn each other over the course of the season.
A special throw. It's his specialty is what I was going to say.
Yeah, pinpoint accurate.
Yeah, I think you and Joe, it's an SA Ultimate thing. Uni
SA
thing.
Yeah, I think, I was probably a bad influence on Joe as he first started.
It seems to work, at least at this level.
All right. So like you said, you've been captain 4 times now. 1, 2. What is your strategy when you captain? Do you have roles that you look for, or do you just go, this player's the best player, I'm going to pick them?
That's a great question. I was actually going to put out a series of
guide to being a captain,
a guidebook to being a good captain, but that's pretty ambitious considering I only won 2.
No, I'm pretty sure you won 5 or 6 from memory. What you won? You won the one with me, and then you won the one with Benji. Well.
And it was in 6-team Super League. I'm trying to talk it up a bit more so that when I do finally write this book, I call it a book. It will be a few paragraphs.
Yeah.
This is what you should do. But it seems like Wilson knows what to do. When I retired from being captain / didn't get chosen as a captain, I was like, all right, here's my tips. But you never know, I might get picked again one day.
Yeah, well, maybe. So if Wilson wins this league, he's 2 for 2. Is that correct?
So 3 in a row.
No, really?
This will be his 3rd.
Okay.
In a row.
So I'm here with second most successful Super League captain, Andy Maddox.
I guess technically he's played. Is he captain 3 or 4?
I don't know.
I think he's also captain 4, so we're equal at the moment.
Okay.
But you asked, do I just pick the most valuable player? That is the golden rule. Generally, just
don't pick roles.
Worry about positions, roles, because people overlook people. You just pick who you think is the best.
Yeah.
Generally, there's a few exceptions to that rule, but.
Nice pull.
The wind seems to have dropped off. Sam Tonkin back again. Getting to Hong. Marty out wide. They started in a horror. Usually I advise collapsing to a vert pretty early.
I think they're going to do that
and
now.
And it seems to be that they've collapsed now. That usually creates the good flow pass and a better dump situation. Looks like they got it now.
Nice big swing to Hong. Oh, Wilson, this is the master and the apprentice. Ben gets the better of him there.
See, out of the hand, that looked really good. He had a good position. Everything was right. I think today, though, that the breeze is just...
The breeze is flowing away from the camera, so you show the bottom side of the disc to the breeze.
Yeah, away from that corner of the field.
Just gives that little bit of float. Ben's a big body. I don't know. He got posterized a few times last week, but mate's got on that one.
Gin has been quite a handy pickup.
So is Kev as he
through
takes
to
a bit of a
another
circle walk.
Number 10. I thought Kevin was an interesting pickup. I thought it was maybe a friendship pickup. But he played amazingly well. A
He's
lot of energy
definitely a
he's
workhorse.
put into it. And his Sid running deep. Jin has big throws, but he wisely holstered it. No dumps there. Doesn't need it. Confident enough. Out to Murray on the side.
Oh,
that's a nasty
Murray,
drop.
like that's a
I think
classic
they feel
inexperienced.
pressure, and they feel pressure to get it to the big handler.
And not
then
just,
they
like, and
throw
the one thing you need to do is just turn your hips towards your dump. Like
Yeah.
the first thing I do when I want to look at a dump is I turn my entire body to look at them.
And
That's
use your
where you.
offhand to guard the space.
No, there's no
Lovely
technical
break throw.
fouls. Well done from home. But yeah, just getting that.
And it's
oh,
popped
Marty.
up again. Sean's got the D. Nice opportune D.
Oh,
Who threw that?
That was
That's
Ben.
Ben's confident throw. I think that way it does sit down nicely. You
that's
get
a
few
good
goals
throw
like
from
that.
Ben.
So that's
Wilson be annoyed that he let it off though. I'm pretty sure he's shading that big flip.
Great run again. Jin, very
We'll get to
valuable.
see it again. Look how wide Ben has to go for this throw.
Who do you think on the black team's been the most valuable pick for where they got picked?
Ah, Greg. Greg
yeah.
getting picked 4th overall is insane. He's such a good player.
That was a
Think
handy pickup.
Quiet
that's
now.
for sure.
Yeah, the Greg Sean Lace 1-2 punch has been really strong.
Yeah, I think when I saw that originally, I saw the first 4 picks. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Including Ben as a captain, who's
Yeah.
very strong as a captain. Very strong player, not just a
Yeah.
captain.
I think he got a huge advantage from where he picked as well. So like he got the last choice in the order and so everyone else. So Scary
you get
picked
the 2 in a
first.
row.
Yeah, I think Wilson picked 3rd, and then Sean picked 2nd.
Although he didn't get 2 in a row.
No, so he got 4th and 6th.
4th and 6th.
Yeah, so it went Scary Sean, Wilson Ben, Scary Ben. So
Interesting. It was quite. I've in my mind, I've got a wall of numbers. That mine going up, trying to work out what you're explaining there. But
so he got 4 and 6, and I'd say that there was probably 6 really strong players. So at that position, himself and Scary are going to get 2 of them, and I feel like they.
And it was a case of picking the best player available. He didn't worry
Exactly.
about positions. He just pick.
But he got 2 great
He
positions
got
in a
2
really strong
amazing.
handler and a really
the
strong
positions
defender.
sort themselves out.
Yeah,
usually.
exactly. Like, I think Foley's a really good example of that. You pick him,
That's
and
it.
he's a good handler. He's a good cutter. He's a good defender. Like,
Yeah,
He's
you
just a strong
pick him 'cause
player.
He's a great player, and
Yeah.
fill whatever position you need. Wilson's gone deep, massive burn on Ben.
Nah,
Ben doesn't
Ben
seem
wants-
to be watching
he's
him.
baiting it, though.
He's
He's
baiting that,
baiting
but
it.
he then also let him go under. So I don't know what he's doing. The holster and puts it into a corner with a poach, but he was good
yeah,
enough.
Wilson good enough to take the position.
He knew he was good enough. Wilson fast enough to get in there, and he's got those sticky Inspector Gadget hands. I always find that.
Unless
just
it goes to his
stretch out
chest,
a
and
little bit
then
further.
it's almost definitely a turn.
Look at that turn on Ben, and he needed his mates to poach.
So, like we said before, Connor's not here, one of their mainstay handlers, so it's just Hung. Do you think Sam's the best option to handle, or is he a better engine room cutter? Do you think Marty is the better choice?
No. Oh, good question. No doubt Sam is missed in the field because he is a fantastic engine room cutter, and he doesn't he's very safe with the disc, so he doesn't maybe have the handler mindset of having to push throws. I don't know. I'm maybe just talking rubbish here.
So,
but,
I've commentated the blue and red game a few times, and so Ben and I have commentated that together, and we have railed against Marty being a handler, and I feel like
but that's with Connor in the team.
with Connor in the team
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, I think Hong was in the field, and it was just
Well, Marty is surprisingly fast, as I knew last week. I mean, other people may have found out watching him last week, but I felt it firsthand.
he did get
with his great D. But he, in a straight line anyway, he really builds up some speed, a lot more than most people realise.
Yeah, I think he
and
might
so
be the
out in the
best
field.
choice to handle with Connor. Sorry,
Even
with Hong
so,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's very safe with the disc, which goes against what I was potentially saying before. Is he creative enough as a handler? Maybe you don't need it.
You don't need it, I don't think. I think you've got... Hong can be creative. Maybe even, like, just jam Shiner back there.
Shiner can be
to
very
be
creative.
the reset handler.
But then you're taking out an extra cutter from the field who's very handy in the field.
Yeah, true.
That's a big call, putting Shiner back.
I'm a huge Shiner fan. Have been for years.
Nice flow, straight up. They gave him a lot of ground up that line, but
bit of a gift.
Was that a strategy?
Yeah, I don't think
they
so.
got very lucky.
Yeah, I don't know where Joe was wanting to move there. I think he could have just taken a few steps forward and have that forehand power position.
So Black's come undone a little bit lately.
A little poach off by Sean.
Showing some weaknesses here. Can they stop him from scoring? Held the break side. Johnny looks inside like he often does.
Oh, there's a poach. There's a poach. Somebody needs to go get it. I don't know how they're letting Greg just stand in that open lane there. Hardy really wants to throw this break.
And the wraparound potential for a break. I like that wraparound look. But I think they're stuck on the break.
The Titans
side. Whoa, push pass.
Johnny generously takes the minus stat for Shiner. I would have just stared at him in disgust and let it hit the ground, I think.
He's going to get this. Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Surely the big hut to Greg. He's put so much on it, though.
He doesn't lay out.
Greg, I don't think I've seen him lay out in 15 years. Usually he's just got the legs to get there.
I'm a little bit disappointed.
I was
expecting him not to lay out.
I thought that throw from Dennis was maybe a little tip by Alice or something, but it was a left-handed high-release push pass, which I would say has never been practiced, not only by Shiner, but anyone in the world. So, into the wind as well. So just... you talked about compounding errors. I think there's just about 10 of them in the one throw. Yeah, let's watch it as many times as we can, Mike. Thanks. Johnny, generous. I think, yeah, Shiner owes him one for that.
A lot of poaching on the inside here, and yet they still get it
nice
across the front to the break side. Interesting defensive setup. And that's a break again.
I feel like the Force loved to poach, like loved brackets and...
Yeah. I think they like a bit of the chaos D here. And then there's another around look, but no one there.
I think they might have realised...
And huck option.
There's a bit cold though. Dennis is too free.
Cold. Even with that disc that went up, you could see the shape of it change. It's a very hard put into this breeze.
Yeah, it's definitely a hard forehand.
And they have to be very free to be able to...
Which I know we popped up a lot of forehands into that breeze going that way. Yeah, you see someone with a couple of steps, but they're 40 metres away. You're like, yeah, I've got this throw.
It's what they call that edge control. You need a lot of edge control for that throw. Just the right amount of angle on it.
Hong has made it hard for Marty here, but Marty's done well. Nice big break side gain to Wilson.
This is a huge dump here.
They really need a swing though. They need that next continuation now. They've got it to Johnny, but Nick's in the lane already.
To the break side, he loves looking across for that shot. It's his go-to. Most people have had Johnny talk to them probably before about you get the disc on the open side, you don't turn and look up the line, you just turn straight into the inside.
I wouldn't
have
minded it.
It ended up being a wide fat side break, but...
I wouldn't have minded a little fake down the line to maybe move Sean around, but
it's successful. I think it's also because he fears throwing his forehand or getting stuck on his forehand. But
I agree with that. Favourable win for that throw, so probably a bit of a veteran wind read on the throw. He's going with that crossfield breeze, so it's probably going to come out.
Done. He does love his high release backhand too. It's something he's always had in his arsenal from the beginning.
Yeah. No, usually it's going 60 metres down the field though.
Yeah.
Well, that was a break, wasn't it, for the Titans to maybe put it back on serve? I feel like.
I wasn't paying attention, I'm sorry.
Let's have a look at the sidelines for the two teams. looks like the Force have 2 subs, so they're running 9 tonight. I think the Titans have only got 8, so kind of short teams at the moment.
Yeah, the temperature's not too bad tonight.
Yeah,
it's been a lot hotter.
And
I think sometimes, as I was saying to you earlier during our game, it can be a bit of an advantage to have eight or
people,
7 players because you get into the game a lot more. As a player, you don't sit on the sideline. I mean, some people have a tendency to sit on the sideline, sort of lose interest potentially, or lose the momentum.
Or just take those D points off.
Yeah. But you can really build some momentum, especially if you're not playing a tournament. It's just one game. You should be able to run it out. Confident look.
Nice little cut from
Great
Sean.
cutting from Sean. He's been training, he's running a lot, and that's a great dump around, deep dump. But
move it across the field. Need that continuation though.
the stack is staying fairly connected, a little bit messy.
Lots of switches by the Titans.
It's very handy to have Joe upfield with that throw.
Yeah, Joe and Sean upfield. Probably rather. I think Paolo got beaten too many times deep last week, and now he just wants to handle a little bit.
Nice dump by Sid. He's one of those players, always gives it back and runs and gets free again.
Yeah. Sean being the engine room there is really hard to stop. He's going to need to look at Ben now though. Oof.
Lefty inside break.
It's a bit cheeky.
And goal.
Well done by Joe.
When Sean gets disciplined, he is a force, hard to stop.
Yeah, scary
And
outfield
I
as
can
well.
sense that discipline from him at the moment in his whole outlook on Frisbee.
Is he playing Outbreak this year?
He is, Div 1 as well,
Oh my
and
God.
he's, at trainings, he's brought that same intensity that he's known for.
He's that player who he disappears for a year or so, and then he comes back and you see him on the other side of the field in like league or something, like, ugh.
He doesn't
really?
like taking
And then he's just
things
as good.
lightly.
He's just as good as what he was like 2 years ago. And he hasn't
If he
played
takes
since.
Frisbee lightly, you can get a few big throws out of him and turnovers, and he'll have a laugh. But when he decides to play well, he is very hard to stop.
And like you saw it
And he
there,
doesn't
him
lose it,
upfield, him upfield is real worrying. Really fast, agile, good throws.
He as a younger player, he was never in. He was always in the top 5-10 players for speed, but he wasn't, super fast. But he has gone off, and he puts effort into training his speed, and it just shows. A lot of people think speed is a natural thing. You either got it or you don't. But he's put a lot of effort into his sprint training, and he's actually he's consistently one of the fastest now, and over time with his fitness as well.
Yeah, and that's the annoying thing as well. If you can be fast and then maintain that speed over a whole game, it's really annoying. And then to have the experience on top.
Intensity and focus, and now experience.
Probably shouldn't have been 6th pick overall, I'd say.
No. But Ben may have let the other teams in with his lower picks to be decided.
Yeah, I think so. As long as you put someone on Greg and shut him down, I think. Yeah, that's the key. Stopping Sean and Greg. Like, Sean.
Good pick up.
Sean's picked that up.
And great rebound straight into the big swing.
And a free,
Johnny's
pretty much as always.
His
Getting his stretchy arms to work out here.
The sweeper back there, just
lovely
for his
break.
own team, sweeping up the mess.
The knuckle scraping break.
Wants the backhand again.
Yeah, he's going to need some help from his team though. Like, I feel like he's not going to give it away, but he's going to need a hand.
Inside. Oh, sorry.
Wilson has put up a bullet into the wind. Marty's going to have to do a lot of work though. Yeah. You want Marty catching it above his head, not at his ankles.
Wilson has a fantastic huck. He gets under easily. I think his hucks often have the same shape every time. So whether it's flick or backhand, it's a knife. And often it works if there's no wind, especially.
Oh, I love this matchup though. Greg beat
Beautiful
Johnny.
matchup. Johnny's got the inside.
Oh, Johnny gets the better of him. Greg, the classic Greg move of giving up the position and then trying to sky the defender.
I think that's 2-0 for Johnny.
Yeah, I'd say so.
He got positioned both times. It's not really fair for Greg. His teammates are hucking up swill to him where he's out of position. But
you would think that would be a classic matchup over SA Ultimate. But I feel like they often play on the same team. Every nationals, they usually play on the same line. So at trainings, you never get to see them mark up against each other. Yeah, really
you
cool
don't see it as much as
you think. Like, you think that would be,
Again, Johnny with the backhand. Inside.
I think they started the same year as well.
Oh,
Johnny, well done.
Picks it
Not
up,
being intimidated.
straight back into it. Looking to that break side
Nice,
again
big
straight
break to
away. I
Marty.
think Johnny's gotten in the ear of all of his players.
But
they need someone on.
They need someone in the stack to be ready for that. I feel like it goes to that side now. Everybody's cutting on that side, and then it'll go back to the other side. But everyone's already cut to the other side, so there's nobody there.
Yeah, there's something to getting the timing right for when you do get the breaks off. Getting the break is the first part. Another under from Nick, and very knifey. Those throws, it's the cursed corner.
The air bounce knife forehand is probably not the throw. Oh God, look at the shape on that. That is the weirdest arc I've ever seen a frisbee do.
Now, is this a straight up? Marty's edged around to stop the dump a little, but
I don't mind the straight up mark on Sean. Like going with the wind, he's going to be able to put up a few big throws.
To be honest, I like the straight up force on across the field. If your team can be disciplined enough, it's one of those high risk, high reward plays.
Yeah, and nobody plays against it.
And that's an easy look for him.
He's put way too much on that though.
Read it nicely.
Yeah. Ben just lacks a little touch every now and again.
I think his strength is definitely in the deep field, and especially he's got handlers who can be back there.
Right. He's thrown inside out, same third forehand, where he shows the underside of the disc to the wind. I don't think there's any receiver that's going to catch that. That needs to be an outside in forehand. He throws outside the field, really, and it comes back in. Either way.
This has been a bit of a sticky corner. It's interesting. They're still throwing a flick. Generally, you should be able to get a flick under out of here. Timeout. Bit of time to think about it.
What's your feelings on the midpoint timeout?
I almost never call timeouts personally.
Hate it. Right? Like, I'm pretty sure a few years ago there was a statistic like there's a crazy amount of like if you call that midpoint timeout, you turn the disc over and you get scored on.
Gives the defense usually a lot more opportunity, and I think that psychologically it's hard for the offense if the play that they call doesn't eventuate. It's very psychologically hard for them, especially if they call the timeout in front of the end zone, to dump, reset, keep the stack connected, go backwards if you need.
Yeah, I think the one thing that Hong's got going for him now is he's got the disc. I think he called on a pretty low stall. So he's going to have a little bit of time to...
In their own defensive end zone.
I hate that too. Yeah. Actually, I hate it when they're in front, like you're in front of the other... Oh,
maybe he wants them to put a horo on or talk about a play to get out of that space.
Sean called a midpoint timeout from the opposite defensive end zone corner last week, which I also did not like. And
Mike, I think, can we get the footage on this?
Yeah, sure. I think he got out of it by a speculative, like, floaty outside-in forehand across the field to basically no one that seeing might have been able to pick it up. Yeah, all right. 100%. What a genius.
Yeah, I think our team did something similar last week or the week before, and then you get this speculative look over the top. All right, we got away with that one.
Yeah, so
high stall count. Yeah.
Yeah, you're really giving the defense to just hone in on their player, know exactly what they want to do, maybe even call some strategic poachers because the offense has to start first.
I think we do need a bit more money ball going on in Frisbee, to be honest. Maybe not with the players, but at least with these, like a bit more science and stats behind these things, because there's so many things I've wondered about.
Marty has done well with the stats, but I feel like it's a lot for him to watch every single game and note down, like, timeout.
Would be interesting to go back through. I know. I was talking with someone about the value of looking through the footage, and we were talking about BJ earlier tonight, Alex Britton-Jones, and one training we had where the camera was on the end of the end zone looking down, and he went through the footage, I assume for every player. I got a personalised note, and it seemed like it was frame by frame, play by play, watched everything you did with the disc, without the disc, and said, yes, you did this well, you were on the wrong side of the force here, or you bid on his fake there, and it was amazing because after that I was so much more aware of everything that was going on, and I think other people felt the same. If you have the time to go through for your team and do that,
coach.
It was amazing.
Great player, great coach. That is way too much effort.
It is incredible to do.
You're obviously watching the games after you play them, correct?
I am planning on binge watching them over Christmas. I've watched a couple, and I got into it early, but I was very busy, and I plan on binge watching just to make sure no one said anything too bad about me.
And the Force just give them an easy reset across the field to Dennis.
Too busy talking about
kind of off.
The
that was
great games to come.
A bit of a nothing.
Got away with that dump.
Yeah. Just retracted foul call. Johnny's going to need to do something for home.
They're giving him an easy dump, and the swing was missed.
That's a with the wind floaty backhand, which
got
deceptively hard. Yeah.
Pushed down, high release. I mean, he hit one of those into the end zone earlier, but not this time.
Nice little
I like
switch
that play. They used to call that the tic-tac.
Oh, Alice has picked it
Dump,
up in the corner.
hit it straight back, hit the line.
Sam Tonkin right in my line of sight there, but goes to ground, picks it up.
No, I think it was a great play. The defence was actually onto it. The tic-tac play, the defence didn't peel off like they would have wanted, but they just didn't get the force on
whoever was marking Alice just
and
fell asleep.
That's it.
I
guess we'll see it here. But this is the tic-tac straight back, and then there was the switch, which was how you meant to play against that tic-tac play.
Dennis just caught flat-footed and lets her into the open side.
It is open side as well, and maybe that's that compounding thing. You let a break off, or maybe they're worried about the swing continuation, and that's why the tic-tac can be valuable. I'm going to keep calling it the tic-tac.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Straight back to that open side handler that dumped
Alice just too much. Like you can tell when you have an experienced cutter. You watch the defender's feet, and when you see them a bit on their heels, you know you can just go like Alice, no fake there. Saw Dennis was on his heels.
Yeah,
and
just
took off to the open side. Just cut him up.
There's something to it. I think Joel Pillar said to me once on offense when he was playing high level, he didn't even basically watch the handlers with the disc. He would just watch his defender, and as soon as he saw his defender look away, he would change directions. Yeah. And then if he happened to be free and open, he would get the disc. But he didn't try to connect with the players at all. He just watched his defender. They look away. He changed directions. Boom. Yeah, suddenly you're open away from your play. You've got a few meters that are very valuable at the high level. Yeah. And then you go from there and, oh, look, I'm open in a right position or I'm not, whatever.
Yeah. And, I definitely think the hardest cut to do is that straight off the stack, dead disc, like coming out of the stack cut. But if you can do it especially when the disc is moving, it's quite easy to catch your defender flat-footed or just like they glance away at the disc or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's where an S-cut comes in. We call it an S-cut, sacrifice cut. Someone who cuts before they pick up the disc, before they get there. It sort of gets things in flow, and it gets the fence slightly out of position. It makes them show their hand. Here's Sam Tonkin with a power side. Anna gets a lot of unders.
She's got that great step coming back under after the deep.
I found out this week. Oh, that's a shame. I found out this weekend she was a ex-state champion runner.
Not surprising.
not at all.
I'm surprised.
And that is that speculative huck, but it came off this time.
Was not in a great position the whole time.
Managed the edge control, which we talk about. Was it Sean who threw it?
We'll see here.
It looks like it. He gets a lot of spin on his disc, which helps.
The wind is a nice favourable for that.
We say favourable. No one's pulled off that huck so far, barely tonight. I think it's favourable if you can put a good amount of spin and have the disc hold its angle. I think the more revolutions means the less the disc turns. You should know, you're a disc golfer.
And also a terrible handler. I think that turnover that Anna threw to Wilson then was just, like we were talking about before, a factor of not turning your hips to where you want to throw. Like, trying to throw that with your shoulder direction is just, it's just not a favourable like body position for those throws. You're not balanced, and it's hard to get that arm moving in the right direction to connect those throws. Like, turn your hips. It doesn't take much. She probably could have stepped out and thrown a forehand there as well.
She has gotten a lot better at that sort of thing. She used to throw bullet dump passes. I remember a few years back, she was amazing at getting the disc, and then it would be a bullet out of the dump from the hip. She's now gotten her arm out a lot wider, but I agree, like, that's something for a lot of people to look at and think about. Getting out wider, pivoting, using your butt to get in the way.
Yeah. Face your hips where you want to throw. That's
to block the mark, I should say. All right, great puller.
Big outside
with the wind around the pole cam.
Lovely.
And coming in sharp.
Sam's opting to catch it. I would not. That's terrifying. But he does well.
You would catch it in a game? I don't know.
I would not. Oh, not that pull.
That's
no way.
that same tricky flick.
Yeah, he saw Sean throw it and like, oh, that was pretty easy.
Seems to get
Alice,
people
nice
tonight.
big under. Nice little strike cut from Joe. Now they're stuck because everyone's on that side of the field.
And his specialty.
Great throw from Joe.
It really opens up a game if you have that option. Yeah. I know playing against your team and whenever I play against Joe's team, we, as an upfield marker, we talk about it and we say, look, this hammer may come out. It forces you to go more to the break side, and then there's the compounding problems where suddenly they can get free on the open side a bit more.
Yeah.
It opens up the game.
Yeah. There's
if you got that reliable.
The variations, really make it hard. What I really liked that Greg did then was he knew he wanted to cut to the break side, but what he did was lead Marty past the stack instead of cutting straight to that break side. He led Marty deep of the stack and then cut to the break side, so he didn't create the pick.
Very wise. It can be hard to do because then you've got the disc to your back at the back of your head. But if you know what you're doing and you know it's coming, you can get that separation.
I think
you can run backwards and.
I think that was very clever by Greg because as soon as that pick comes off, then that kills the play, and maybe everyone on the Titans team wakes up a little bit. And,
I think another thing, I don't know what happened just there, but another thing that I've noticed that you can get away with potentially, if your player is further than 3 meters away from you, you run straight past the stack, making them have to go through. Often they'll call a pick, and then you get into a big argument about it, and you say, you weren't 3 meters.
And then everyone's angry for the rest of the game.
But if you're willing to go through that, which I usually am, I will call that every time. Just if nothing else, it is a lesson about the rules. And but I will say, hey, you get free when they're 3 meters away.
Yeah.
And you take advantage.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure this is a Titans timeout. Yeah. They're going to really need a rally and get back at this Adelaide Force team.
Wow, the score is blown out here.
It's been quiet.
There's
been
attention
some
to the
long
game.
points, and I think long points and a lot of turns, like opportunities for both teams. It's what happens a lot in a lot of games where it's just that last throw that needs to come off. Like, you play good offense all the way out of the field, and then you turn it over to your end zone.
It can be the well, I have said to my team a couple of times, it's that throw that you drop in the end zone is suddenly a 2-point difference because they turn, they get it down the other end, they score. Instead of it being 7-3 or 7-5, say, it's 8-4.
Yeah, exactly.
And it hurts.
Yeah.
So it's those little percentage
changes. Yeah, like that little
changes.
throw from Nick to Wilson in the end zone. Like, it's those sort of things that come back to bite you. Still greatest 10th round pick in Super League history.
Still.
Maybe.
Update?
Still.
Yeah. Right, thank you.
Yeah, we'll give you the running
update
on whether or not Nick's the greatest 10th round pick.
Well, the other 10th round pick in this game is Kevin
Lozado, yeah.
Kevin Lozado. And he's on the sideline at the moment. So.
The second greatest 10th round pick in Super League history.
So they're putting a lot of thought into this defense here. It looks like he's just trying to get his matchups.
Yeah, Sean Davis
right.
wasn't here today, so I had to call the matchups, and I forgot how hard it was to call them in a timely manner. I felt like
And
I was
remember
taking, like,
every player
10
and-
minutes. Yeah, exactly. I felt like I was taking 10 minutes every.
I do like their little
point.
clap that they do.
Oh, I hate it.
I'm impressed by it. I hate it because I'm not on their team.
Nah, it's such a Hoss thing to do.
It
like,
is.
Or all those Melbourne uni teams when you played uni games back in the day.
He's bringing it from the other team. Here we go for the huck, and he's looked it off.
Good look off by Wilson.
And that's a nice swing. We've got
greatest 10th round pick in
we got
Super League
Nick
history.
back in the handler space. Lovely measured forehand to
Oh,
the open side, and it's a huge open.
He's put
cut.
a
Sam
lot of nose
Tonkin
up on it. Sam's
should
taking a
be
good
able to-
position.
Oh, that is a great D. Sam Tonkin got position.
I thought, or
everything.
maybe he didn't there in the end. I
It-
think
maybe
he might have
from the
worked himself a
angle.
little bit too far under it. and
He needed
Sid's
to
got
hold
the
his
read
butt out
on
a bit
it.
more.
I thought
Maybe
he's worked
sometimes
himself
if you
under it
get
there.
early position, you can overthink it, and
Yeah.
and the defender just jumps over the top
Maybe
aggressively.
a little gust. Yeah, Sid definitely had the run at it then. He did well. Yeah.
Especially you see, well, if you're a defender and you get the early position, you see the 3 points hanging there,
Oh.
and you get mesmerised. And suddenly, like what happened to me in the last game,
And then you get absolutely
just
posterized.
you're like, oh, here's 3 points.
Ben, I think Sid's one of Ben's favourite punching bags, so Sid will be happy to have impressed him there.
It's very messy out of that corner, it seems, for every team tonight. And a lot of teams are running the hole out of that corner. It's a
like the
very,
hole stack?
very deep stack here. They've collapsed into a vert now. Murray's a machine under. Great dump to get out.
Aaron's wearing him though. I think
That's a fantastic matchup.
I like
Here we
it.
go.
I think
Looking deep, and he puts it even without separation, but
Well, Aaron can have a go at this,
that
yeah.
was very nice.
I don't think Wilson even tried to
Yeah.
find it. I think he was just going to play D on the
I don't think he was
catch.
expecting the huck, to be honest. He was level, if not deep of him, and the huck still came into that
Again, that favourable win for
Cursed corner.
Sean's throw.
favourable win. It's the cursed corner.
No, it's
It's
I think
become favourable now.
it's favourable
People have learnt
for
how
Sean
to manage
Lace.
it.
No, it's favourable for
Was
Sean
it Sean Lace? It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
Sean
yeah.
Lace. There you go.
Oh no,
No, it
was it Jin? No,
It was Jin. It was. I don't think.
No, it was Sean. It was Sean.
No, it was Jin.
It was Sean.
It was Jin.
Oh my God.
Here we
okay.
go. Look, because I don't think Sean would have thrown that with the separation. If you look,
Oh,
Wilson
okay,
had
yeah.
him there, and
That was a good throw by
it
Jin
was
though.
amazing.
Yeah. Similar throw. If Sean was going to throw, that's what it would have looked like.
All right, what can Blue do here? You're right. Sorry, I'm now thinking ahead. We've
Oh,
been
there's my
bickering
dog
enough.
on the camera. Oh,
Hello,
she's so
little
cute.
Pickles. Good dog. Great mascot.
Yeah, so
for,
that's the Force taking half
Frisbee.
8-3 over the Titans.
I can see Johnny's having a think. Johnny Warren White. They're all sort of
I feel like
heads down, but not
defensively
out.
they're getting the turns. I don't think defense is the problem for the Titans. I think it's their offense. So it's, yeah, like you said, a lot of maybe just realizing we don't have that forehand to the right-hand side of the camera. And
Yeah.
just grinding it a little bit more. Because I think, so we beat the Force last week, which I don't mind bringing up. And the way we did it
Fair
was
enough.
through just grinding unders and lots of lateral
Discipline.
swings.
Yep.
So I think
I
the Titans are trying to throw too many leading passes up the field where
Yeah.
they don't have to.
I think East Adelaide have a pretty solid defensive line. I felt hard defense when I was playing against them, and what happens is you suddenly feel like you're not getting free, or if you're a handler, you're pushing things that could be a turnover in the short field, or it has been a turnover in the short field, and you're like, well, I may as well take a gamble on the long throw, which is a terrible mindset.
Yeah.
And you should fix the problems from the ground up, meaning
Yeah.
from the handlers up and unders and then deep, but
I'm
I
kind
can
of
get
not
the
liking the
mindset.
hoe stack either. From kind of either team, it's working for the Force. Don't like it from the Titans. I think maybe
the
three
Force is
handler.
putting on a very junky looking match
Oh, God,
defense. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Another.
no.
Oh, thank you. I saw the 3
Stephen.
points lit up, felt him on my shoulder.
I'm pretty sure Stephen was just
And I was still stall
suffocating right
counting
now.
while I wanted to get the D back. I was still stall counting while he was discussing whether he was
Okay,
in or
yeah.
not. And I
The veteran
decided, I'm like, you were clearly not in.
Nope. Thanks, Stephen, for that. I appreciate it.
Oh, I was very annoyed
Oh,
about
God.
that. I did give him a couple of seconds with my jaw
no.
open though, so
This is a
at shock and surprise that he got that.
bit of an
That D,
anti-Vax low
that
lights
was
reel.
very
Which
frustrating.
I think is a bit mean. But
Mike Palmer, always looking for the best ultimate.
yeah, he's
he
got to
can
get
find.
some. He's been dragged
to-
out here. He must be grumpy about it. 'Cause he wants to like get some get some digs back.
Okay, Titans look like
Yeah,
they've been thinking hard about it. They've had a bit of
What
a
I
discussion.
wouldn't mind to see is maybe 3 handlers back for the Titans and run the vert stack. Like, give yourself a lot of room down.
3 handlers with a vert.
I like the 3 handlers with the vert. Like, give your players a lot of room. Like, maybe.
Okay.
So you've got.
So you
'cause
just
you-
put someone back right out to the back of the end zone,
or
out of
just
the way as a
spread it
handler.
across. Like, just give yourself that room out in the field because I feel like they're just getting clogged up so much with the
They're cutting.
yeah the
With
What was that?
apparently exceptional defense.
yeah with
Sean
the
said.
terrible defense that the Adelaide Force generally put on. It's a clam, Sean says. It is a
Well,
clam. That's
generally,
why.
you play the clam, you split the
Yeah,
defense,
exactly.
and you have 2 people running to the same area or the same
can
one
play it like a
defender,
zone.
and they can't take both of them.
Exactly.
And
you
then
play it like
you
a
split
zone.
the deep.
So I
whatever
don't
you
mind
need to
having
do.
the 3 handlers back to have that easy reset and then play that upfield like a zone.
So if we look, they'll probably put the clam on again. For anyone who's watching and they don't know what a clam is, it's when they have all their defenders around the stack, kind
Yeah,
of,
so
rather than taking a particular player, they take a position.
How do you like playing the clam? Like, you like going one person under break, one person mid, and one person deep? Like, one person mid open, one person mid deep?
Is that only 4?
That's 4, because then generally, like, then you have
And then
like
you have
man on the
another mid.
handlers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's generally how I like to play it. I have played it with one person on the break side
Break
in
deep.
the mid, so you
Yeah.
fully surround the stack. But generally, I prefer the break on the inside under, open side under, 2 mids and a deep poach,
Okay.
and then have them ready and really aware and ready to discuss and swap, and then ready to pick up players as it
Yeah.
continues.
Yeah, I wouldn't
from
even,
there.
and you can run it a number of different ways. You can have, like, the
Around the
assassination.
pole cam again.
You have the
Very
assassination
nice.
on their strongest cutter, etc.
That's interesting. I think defense, I love defensive looks when I was captain, and I very rarely paid attention to the offense. And I love trying funky stuff on defense, but here we go. We don't have a clam at the moment. I'm
Johnny
not sure
has
if we
to-
started with
I
it.
thought Sam Thompson
Looked
made
off the
great.
open because it was a flick. Opted for the high release backhand to the break side. And he's done an interesting dump
Nice little grab from Wilson.
cut to the open
This is
side. Will
nice,
Nick put
though.
that again for the
like
flick side? And again,
He
it
has.
may be difficult to catch,
Wilson's
but
done
he's got it.
well. And then a nice through the hole.
That edge control from Nick on that
Better,
open side
better.
is very tricky. If you have the wisdom in your team and the awareness, you can pick on certain players and give them a particular
that
look
throw.
that you know that they are struggling to hit. But I don't think that was the case there.
He's done well there. But what I like about that point from the Titans is very few leading passes. I wouldn't mind Nick hitting Sam on the back end there.
Greg
But
waltzing in.
that's the only leading pass, and it was the only one that looked a bit shaky. And it's just
Do you
formality
think
to
they
dip it to
Do you
home.
think they gave him the throw on purpose, or it was
No.
Ben marking the up the line player?
Nah.
Was he just
I
being
don't think
poachy
so.
and lazy?
I think
He
it's
seems
lazy.
to pick the hardest person to defend and then
And then get schooled by
poaches.
them.
it.
Classic.
Yep. I've got Wilson and doesn't follow him. There is a bit. There's potentially room for the dark team. I mean, they're crushing them at the moment, but there's room for the dark team to play around with defense and have Ben mark a weaker player and poach if he wanted to. But I mean,
I don't mind
whatever
that.
they're doing at the moment, they're getting away with it. And
I think they need to shut down
it's an
Sean Lace
offense
on this
point
this
now.
point.
So yes,
I think Wilson's been taking Ben, but I'd kind of like to see him switch on to
who
Sean.
can shut down? Probably Sam Tonkin will run on Sean Lace. He's
You reckon?
I think the best.
He's the best shutdown defender?
Wilson and Sam Tonkin are the best handler guards on this line. Sam Tonkin can be a very, very mean handler guard just when he locks on. Very tricky to get away
Marty
from.
on Joe. I think I'd rather see Hong on Joe, to be honest.
The wingspan is there.
Yeah, that's true.
There we go.
Okay,
I call
well, I'll just shut the hell
Not,
up because Marty he's got a great block on Joe there.
Joe's thrown a couple of those away this league.
Sid's done a great job to do enough.
He's holding a bit of an injury at the moment, I think, and I
Sid
think
is.
that's potentially the
Got a bit
same
of
leg.
strapping safe on his quad there. This grass is deceptively sandpapery, as I found out today.
Yeah, from the side angle, you see just the surface greenery, and it looks
Looks
luscious.
lush,
but they seem to put sand on at the end of
I
the
feel
footy
like there's
season.
gravel just underneath the surface. Marty's done really well there. He, for a
heard
lot
the
of
call
high-level teams, he
retracted
did play the
foul.
mark in his zone. So, credit to
That's
him.
true.
Well done.
And again with the edge control, beautiful huck. That's Sean's corner
Alice,
today.
I think she again has just taken advantage of a flat-footed
Very
defender and
early
just
big
charged.
dump. She's very, very disciplined. Played a lot of high-level ultimate.
Yeah, and got throws as well though. I think Anna and her are similar players, but
And Sean's corner again, but it's
he's
over the top.
He's given Hong way too much of a look at it, and I think Hong just put enough pressure on.
It's very hard as that receiver
that
when you've
little
got someone
pop at the
barreling in
end.
like that, knowing whether to attack it, whether to stand back and wait for it
Bit
to
of-
pop over the top.
Bit of incidental contact there. I don't mind the
You could
non-call.
step in the way and cop the contact, but not many people want to do that.
No.
And
Nah.
it's a bit questionable. Read the distance.
I feel like
and another backhand, and Wilson dropped another one. I don't think either of them were really his fault. They
people
were
are
out
just
of
not reading this wind with the wind, throwing these leading throws. It's a hard throw, and people are just not compensating for the wind.
Now on turn, Black has very big dump.
So this is
They
the
seem to
Sam
be
on
getting
Sean matchup,
open, and Sean has dropped
Sean's
the game.
racking
He
up the
heard
negative
us
stats.
talking him up too much.
Ooh. I'm surprised Marty didn't toss that up then.
I think the Black team does give teams a sniff every game. They have players who will get a bit too jovial or something, I don't know, and they're not disciplined and they start.
The
giving
first
teams
game
a
that we
sniff.
played against them, they rolled us. I think it was like 15-7 or something embarrassing. And I feel like we just could not get a turn.
And he's thrown
we
a
couldn't
flick.
buy a turn.
Yeah.
That's the rare Johnny Warren White flick. And it was, I think that was Shiner repaying Johnny for the
And
negative
a
stat.
big up and very, very sharp throw.
Did that hit
down
Greg
that
in the
side.
hand before it hit the ground? I don't know.
It did. Yeah,
hit
it's
Greg in the
Greg's
hand?
drop.
Oh, well, if it's in the hand, it's got to
Rules
be
are
caught,
rules.
right? Rules are rules.
You got to be objective with the stats.
Yep. Now, if it hits you in the hand, it should be caught. Like, what? Hit him in the palm. No
Classic
excuses.
handler
Yeah.
opinion.
I know you share it, though.
Oh, I'm a little bit of both this season. I've dropped a few that have been hard to catch.
You're like, throw arrow.
That's a great around.
Yeah, and that's
for-
the way you want to throw these
into the breeze. it
floaty
sits.
throws into the breeze. Yeah,
Lovely. Lot
nice
of
and
spin.
low into the breeze.
Very messy cutting here. Very like pulling out of their open side cuts.
They're just
very
giving
late.
the clam.
They're getting
or
open
this
under,
poachy-
but just
and it might have to lay.
did it come in? Where did it come in?
I think it's just these
Oh,
have
it
been
was just
long,
clean on the inside
grindy
of the
points.
field there.
Like
Yeah.
lots of turns from both teams. I think it's just offensive niggles from both teams.
Sean cutting straight at him, but now then comes the open side.
Ben milking that to nowhere, just to the sideline to work himself into a worse position.
And again, the stack is messy and disconnected, but they seem to get an open under.
Well, when you've got handlers
dump
like Sean and Joe,
here's Sean's corner
the
with
two biggest,
a
Joe!
fantastic grab. He had the read on it.
Won the double coverage as well with Johnny and Marty. That's impressive
fantastic.
from Joe.
Working it back to the break side.
Yeah, now they've got to go to the other side of the field. Where's the swing?
Sean's going to look for the backhand round.
Yeah.
Very lovely throw. That's nice.
They score the point off the back of a bit of Joe
that.
brilliance.
I like that no pivot sort of just core throw, using the core muscles around.
And the difference between Sean and some of these more junior throwy errors is Sean had his hips facing that direction. So he had the angles to throw that throw.
And
we'll see
trained
Joe's catch
his
again.
throws to put a hell of a lot of spin on it.
Joe got up.
Fantastic.
Marty had a good look at it, and Joe's done really well there. We'll get to see Sean's little throw again.
I think that will give him a bit of confidence. He's had 2 throwaways or close to throwaways, I can't remember, on that side.
So he's got to make up those fantasy points, you're saying?
And he put up a third, and that's hard to do, that mentality as a handler, to go for the third. I know that I struggle with it, to keep the confidence and
I only remember my throws that I made.
push through it.
Yeah.
He put up the third.
Yeah, and you've got to back him too as well.
I mean, he's had a lot of success down that side, which is
Yeah.
why it's known as Sean's Corner.
Sean's
I think
Corner,
I'm
is
the only one
that?
who calls it that.
The term has been coined. Mike will have a graphic for it by the end of the night.
Sean's pocket, yeah. Sean Lace pocket.
Mike will have a graphic and a wipe for it by the end of the night, I'm sure.
The heat zone map.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess so. It's like a big pool table, really. Well, I've got a couple of seconds. Show your appreciation to Mike and subscribe to the Ulti TV Patreon. He's come out here for years and filmed high-level Ultimate. He's got some real... I'd say Ulti TV has some really iconic games on their YouTube channel as well. So go hunt them down. There's any game with a lot of views. I know there's a Canada-Japan game a few years ago that is infamous. So if you want to see him keep filming these high-level games, well, not these high-level games, but other high-level games, get on the Patreon and give him a couple of bucks.
Absolutely. So there's a turn here and another chance for Black to consolidate their lead.
Yeah.
East Adelaide still with the disc looking. And Greg loves to have a throw from these situations. If
he needs to look at a dump, though. He needs to look at Jin here.
Yeah,
Murray's
that's
done well.
Great bailout.
Jin's got it in the end.
This is such a great battle between Murray and Anna.
Yeah.
Epic battle,
Both very enthusiastic, I would say. Kevin Lazard, the second greatest 10th round
another
pick of
very enthusiastic player. Fantastic. And Sean, another very enthusiastic player. And Marty's just pickpockets him.
Yeah, snatched it away.
Kevin,
well
that
done.
was the inexperience / I mean, Sean's very intimidating when he's on your team and you want to throw it to him and you feel pressured. Even me as an experienced player, I feel pressured when he's on my team to throw it to him.
Good play to play with, though. It's been a while since I've played with him. Hong is just working these inside flicks so well. I think his team really needs to look for them.
And that's break side. And are they connected like we talked about before? It doesn't look like it. But no one was following him there.
Break zone, yeah.
Greg's not looking quite as fit as he used to be to keep chasing people.
I feel like maybe Sean as well, just lagging behind Marty a bit, who's now on his haunches as well. But yeah, Sean.
I think Sean expected that to be a goal there. I don't think it's a fitness issue. I think it was frustration.
Yeah.
But they didn't connect very well with the break side like we were talking about before, but they managed to have a few people lucky enough to have their defenders not paying attention.
They put it in, so I think that was just a hold though. Upwind hold, well, upish wind hold. It's kind of a crosswind going away from the camera now.
Probably the harder direction to score.
I would say it's the harder direction.
We need stats on this.
Sure.
I mean, there would definitely be stats.
I don't know.
On
There's been a gajillion turnovers this whole game, so I feel like there is no relevant stats on what MZ did to score. It's about just taking your opportunities. Kev's stuck in that offensive, his attacking corner over there. Probably needed to look for his dump after two or 3 seconds.
So there can be a tendency, I think, when you get a few points up, it can be mentally tricky to stay on the ball, on your game. The white team will be looking for any sort of edge they can get to get back into it. Or you hope they would be. I imagine they will be with Wilson captaining. This game has a lot on the line. These two teams, I believe, are level.
No, Titans are leading the league.
Up.
So
if I want my predictions to be correct, I'm going to go for the black team.
Well, if the Force win tonight, that will put Titans, Force and Flyers into a 3-way tie again, as we were after the first round.
Marty with another D. That was...
Now they've just got to be patient.
And look, great throw over the fat side, over the top.
Yep, nice edge.
Marty with some wisdom there, seeing the back of the defender's head, Anna's defender, threw it over the top. Who needs a hammer?
I guess so. Again, hard direction to throw that little forehand, but it's usually going to be punched down. But I think you had a bit of a lull in the wind.
Sometimes when you get the D, you've just got confidence. You know, you've banked 3 points, and
I deserve this.
And you're not too worried. You can just put it in. And look at, here we go with the D. That is interesting. If you look at that early, he was 4 meters behind him.
I think that was
Sid wasn't
a bit
quite
of a lucky D there. Maybe
it
Alice
was. He saw it. He saw it coming.
Yeah, I feel like
definitely
maybe Alice
needed
needed to step out a little bit, throw it from a little bit lower.
Sid maybe wasn't looking for the catch either, so he didn't go for it as aggressively as he should have.
You really want those cutters to make a diagonal cut. A horizontal cut along the field or a just cut straight at you, they're the hardest to throw at.
Horizontal cuts probably the only time I can think of in general that they're useful is when you're cutting across the front for a open side handler.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's a diagonal throw that, like, when you work out
if you get the angles, it's a diagonal throw out into space.
Yeah, probably
almost like a leading pass.
Yeah. Probably like to see Sid cut on that diagonal, maybe lose a couple of meters, but
there are a few players who still sort of have a tendency to cut sideways towards the sideline, and what I try and say to those people is that it closes the window. The window for you to throw into really closes up, because naturally your defender follows you, and suddenly you've got a tiny window between you and the sideline. That's probably the biggest issue. If you turn and go deep, then suddenly you've got a big fat side option potentially, but
I would say, if you're a newer player and maybe you struggle with that sort of thing, like in your social leagues, go and handle, and then you can see what cutters do that annoy handlers.
And
then you
start
can be the
to
grumpy
see it
handler
from the other side. You can see the matrix.
Yeah, exactly. You can be the handler that yells at your players not to cut horizontally and stuff.
That's it.
Well, that's a...
Just don't get addicted to handling. That's the problem,
No, it's the best. So that's a break from the Titans, though. If they're going to roll a couple of breaks here, they're going to be right back in this.
Oh, I was worried about that pull for some reason out of his hand, and
where'd it go?
Didn't quite have the edge down. Sort of flung his arm up as he pulled it, and it shanked it right at the camera here. So probably 30 metres up the field.
I think, Force have about a third of the field to work it into the end zone. But they've got it on the sideline, so good chance for the Titans to put on a hard mark. And
now they're still going with the horizontal this close to the end zone. Very interesting. And
Murray
has
good sweep
saved
up. Both Joe and Ben.
get the flow. Very messy here.
Great mark by
Okay,
Anna.
they've got to clean it up here. It's just a mess of players. They've got to get the,
Ben's done this crazy spin move and not gotten it like he deserved.
but they've managed to get themselves out of that sticky spot. And will they have the
Now
discipline
you've
to get
just
it
gotta,
back to a good
cool
stack?
that adrenaline.
Lovely,
Well done.
lovely.
Great point by Murray. Deserved the 2 points in the end.
That was fantastic.
Take a
play,
sub, my
Murray.
friend. Do not play defense because that's for chumps who
He's too
drop the
enthusiastic for that.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Make Ben play the defensive point because he dropped the disc and you saved him, and then he threw the goal. So have a drink.
He's a very good value pick.
I think so. It's probably
Easy
right.
to say after he has a great
Yeah.
point like that, but
You would have picked him though for sure.
I would have picked him. I mean, I would have had everyone else's scraps where they miss key players, and I'd be like,
Yeah,
oh,
like
thank
idiots. You would have won
you.
this league, I'm
Idiots.
sure.
Yeah, absolutely. The trouble is, as a captain, I feel like I'm not strong enough as a player to make up for
Oh,
it
I think
sometimes. But you know,
that's rubbish.
I know you talk me
You
up
take.
sometimes.
Yeah.
That's
if you
a-
play
that's
bad,
always
it's
the
my
hard
fault 'cause
thing
I'm
when
talking
you-
you up.
That's when you have to barter your position as a captain and
I-
say, look, I need an extra pick.
Yeah,
here,
exactly. I'm so weak.
It's not fair. How
I
can
think
we
you've got
do
a
this?
good read of the talent pool of South Australia. I think you still make good
If
picks.
I'm captain, I do it. I put in a lot of research, and I think that's only fair to the players who've put their name into the pool that you have to put in the research. And I think when I haven't made a good decision, it's when I've relied on testimony and not enough testimony. One player maybe I'll ask, and they'll give me a lot of information, but it's only one player's testimony.
Yeah.
It's not. I think. Oh, I'm giving away too much from my book already.
You
Here.
can't. And testimonies, like often you
gotta
get
get
the
eyes on.
friend's testimony, and they're like, "Oh, they're great, they're fantastic." It's like, yeah, but you
Yeah.
like them. So
Yeah. And I often don't think other people can judge players very
No.
well anyway. So.
Nah. The only person who's a good judge of players is me, and I'm sure you feel the same.
Exactly.
And it's fun to make calls from the sideline as well, and then
That's
I
it.
don't know. And if you get proven wrong, you're just like, yeah, whatever. Doesn't cost us anything.
You just need a
Oh,
lot of
great
data
break by
points,
Hong.
I think.
Yeah.
You get a lot of people's information, and then you get the average, because people are shit at calling it, but you get a few high and a few low, and then you get the average.
And you only remember your highs. Hong's got the key to the offense at the moment, which I really like, and he's doing really well. I think we just need to clean up this stack so you can
That was interesting.
get those break flicks running.
Yes, it's...
Kevin's doing all right, but I think
I
he's
don't know
giving
what
a bit
Wilson's
too
doing there at
much.
the front. He's looking for that sort of diagonal handler position. They're giving him the big dumps. Sam Tonkin easily free. Is there a bit of poaching going on by...
There is a bit of
Black?
punch. I think they're doing really well against the Clam here. Grinding those unders. Shine's just got to not get bored.
Oh,
Ooh,
and that
Alice
was the
put a lot
Phantom
of
D
pressure
by
on.
Alice. Got enough, but what was called?
Maybe dangerous
I didn't see
play?
any contact.
Oh. Is he okay?
A foot was
know.
kicking in danger, he's calling.
No, we're going to see it
In
again
AFL,
here.
that would be... Okay. It's very
I think
unusual
what
in
he's saying, he
Frisbee.
pulled out.
We have a rule that basically doesn't exist in any other sport. Dangerous play. I can't think of another sport where you can
And it's
pull out
always
of a play
hard.
and then get the free for it.
Yeah.
And it can be really tricky because both players could pull out in that situation, and then who gets the dangerous play call? I guess it goes
Yeah.
back. But
Yeah,
It's-
I think he maybe could have. Yeah, it's a tough.
it's
And
a
it's something
tricky
that-
one. You want the rule. It's a good rule to
It is a
have
good rule, 'cause
in the
I
right
think-
moment, but it can be very
I think where the
difficult.
rule is really good is if a handler makes an up the line cut and somebody poaches off the stack, and that's just a collision waiting to happen because
that-
the handler's
you know,
looking back up the field.
I
they
do have
can't
an
see
issue with that as well, though, because if you have already seen the play developing and you're standing there and that handler's not even looking at you, running up, and you're still standing there, it's like you
Yeah.
step to the side, try and get the D
True.
clean.
Sean has given it
It is
up
a
straight
dangerous
away.
part of the game, and I'm not sure how to fix it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I guess you got to maybe give a little bit of leeway, which goes against the rest of the way that the rules are designed, but you got to give a bit more benefit of the doubt maybe to the handler, or a little bit more
I don't mind protecting
leeway
the
to
handler a little bit in that case.
It's different
If you're
for the
gonna make
rest
that,
of the rules.
if
and
you're
going to
make that play, you need to get in front and make it in front of the
really
handler
obvious.
so they're not.
Yeah. It can be a very, very dangerous part of the game. But here we have Hong. Great look straight away. I think he had that in the corner of his eye before he even set his pivot foot.
And you don't like seeing that come off. Like, you've got to. It's a hard huck from that sideline. So you've got to play unders.
Very mechanical action by Marty.
Great. Oh,
Love China with his.
That's a classic.
And Greg gets the hand in between, gives Marty a taste of his own medicine from
Great
last
job by
week.
Greg.
Marty's been getting a lot of Ds.
Greg had the run at it then. And he's just
that is
tipped
an
it from
amazing
between
D
his
between the hands.
Yeah, and to not give away the foul is really
incredible.
Little high release to Sid, very nice.
Now they're coming out of the horror again. They haven't collapsed. They're starting to collapse. There's another D from Marty.
Before the throw, but I would like to see this stay with Marty.
Going to be very upset with that.
I feel like this hasn't affected any play.
Let's have a look.
I can see how this goes back to Alice, but
so
the stack is
who
obviously
was the pick
stopped.
on?
I think the pick is around Johnny and Sam Tonkin with Sid.
That's a rough call to not give the D, to take the D away from someone on that.
Yeah, it was. In all fairness, it was called before the throw, but I would like to see it stay with Marty. I think.
I had an issue with this. An issue with this rule at Worlds. It happened where I locked down on someone, they threw it away. The pick happened 5 seconds earlier. No one was aware of it who was playing. And I spoke to Ruben about it, and he said, "No, sorry, it still stands.
It still goes back.
It still goes back because if you think about the old rules, like the play can be affected because people would have been in different spots and all that. And if you think about the old rules, there was no chance of you getting it back. The rule was if the pick was happen, everyone was unhappy with that rule because if the pick happened, it went back automatically. And
I like this call. So I think
with
the objective read of the rules there, it could have gone back with Alice, but I think it's good spirit to give it to
It's
Marty.
up to the offense to say,
I like that.
And
I think it's a good chat.
And it's fair that it's up to the offense, I guess. It's after speaking to Ruben about it, great put to the back. That is a huge points gainer for Marty. Huge points gainer. He got 19 points stats last week. This should put him in the lead, really. I don't know if he's already. I haven't been keeping track.
He must be pretty close.
My stats haven't been good enough for me to put the time in to have a look. But
did you make a team?
My team's actually doing all right. So I think my team's coming third. Well, they were.
I think I've got Ben Powley as my captain. He is doing nothing this game.
I've got Ben Powley as my captain, unfortunately, but I've got a set and forget team.
Yeah, me too.
Which is not the way to win.
Every team I've ever had is a set and forget.
It's very difficult to win when you do that. I think usually the person who does the best was always Tim Davis, because he was running it, so he would see all the stats and change a lot.
That's a good point. Greg running it this season.
Surely you could see if he was cheating, but has anyone run the numbers on it? I don't know.
Well, Greg's got this shady website now, and guess who's winning the fantasy?
If they're not cheating, I think there's potentially something to looking at all the stats, and
I feel like
maybe we need to make those two captains next year. And they'll have all the information on, at least the stats, but they should maybe have some good information on how to pick a good team.
Maybe. Let's get some transparency in the Super League fantasy. I want source code released. But great job by the Titans.
Johnny's
just
stepped up to the plate for another pull. Who, after that last shocker, here we go, he's gone for the roller. I think that's a much safer one. Step to the other side of the field. Still not very deep in the field.
Murray has gained 10 metres on the tap, which I don't know what the rule is on that. Jim's walking it back, which I don't know what the rule is on that either.
I think we have house rules. You just sort of agree on something. And
Okay. So Mike's saying you can ask them to take it back, which I guess is what's happened.
Yeah, that's a
I
great
don't think it was
mark
an
by
intentional.
Anna. That was very wide arms, jumpy mark.
Yeah, and gave Marty a look at the D as well.
And big under from
Very good
Greg.
Dayana, and he's thrown it up to set. Yeah.
Ah, Greg.
Greg, you just have to accept a couple of those from Greg.
You do. I was going to say his value is those. He gets a lot of big unders because people just have to mark him deep.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating on the opposition.
We also threw to him a bunch when we played them the first time. And he got many
Through
of these.
two, so
Through
that's
two-
when he's on
we threw two
defense as
Greg.
well. He definitely has value on defense too. Yes.
Oh, that's a.
Oh, the no look. Oh
Yeah.
my, the swipe at the.
When you don't have a
Yeah.
look at it, I don't mind that.
You just got to look at the hands and see
Yeah,
when
exactly.
when you think they're going to catch it. Should be
Oh,
now.
Ben's
And was that a
done
D?
enough there. I think Ben didn't.
He got eyes on that one, and he's going to huck this surely. Yes. If I know Ben, which
Yuck.
I do,
Absolute yuck.
and that is a disc golfer's point. Not even a disc golfer's
Can I
point. He
trade
didn't put
Ben out
any
right now? Nah.
system in play to how he
That's-
approached
that's
that
a
throw.
no one
Just-
throw. I don't know what it looked like in his head, but
He's got a
Wasn't
few
that.
points to play with still. He's just.
I guess, but I don't know. You don't want to get on a roll. This is, as we said before,
And
this
that's
is
a
the
great
harder.
under again by. That's a good matchup for Anna there. Jin's looking a bit tired and injured at the moment. Nice up the line, but no one's there. Too cramped. Everyone's edging over to the
Yeah,
to
the
the
stack's
four
too
side.
mobile.
And again, they don't have the connection on the break. People are starting to look a little bit tired, if I'm
I
honest.
know. This is definitely much cooler than our game.
And there's an easy open under. I think if Black just take away that.
Nice lateral movement, and
And
this
again,
is where
no
Sam needs to
connection.
get it.
Oh, we do have a little connection there. That's all right.
I would have liked to see him get it on the break side to keep moving it that way.
That's
Great
a
inside
lovely
break.
look, that lefty backhand.
Beautiful.
I mean, he is left-handed.
That's a huge break for the Titans.
That's fantastic. And we've got a game on our hands,
Foot-
absolutely.
Yeah, going from 8-3 to 10-8, that is a big turnaround.
It's
And-
going to give Wilson 3 games in a row, which I don't want to see as a rival captain of
I don't want to see it
success
either. Yeah.
and and fan of SA Ultimate. I know I do like to see a good record taken down, but my predictions were also that Black would win. So
Well, I prefer my team.
I like
though.
a good game at the end of the day. You prefer your team, well, yeah.
Like I said, there's only one sub for the Titans. I think there's 2 for the Force, maybe 3. So they've definitely got the legs on them.
It's interesting. I think Ben as a receiver is just so strong. Like he's
Yeah.
one of the top 3 in Adelaide, and he keeps running back to get the disc.
Yeah,
and,
just get
and
Joe
putting
and Sean to
himself
chuck
as
pies at
handling,
you. It's fine.
It's hard to do when you're a captain. I think it's like being in the cricket. If you're a bowler and you're the captain, it's really weird
gotta
because
take
you
the
have to
new
put
ball.
yourself in as the bowler, and it's hard if you're not the handler as a captain.
Yeah.
Because usually captains are handlers and they take charge of the game and they sort of general the field from back there. But I suspect, and I've seen it with a few captains over the years, that and myself included, I've had that tendency where you feel like you have to go back and handle when you're captain, but it's so powerful if you can put yourself out in the field and just trust in some strong handlers that you got, give them a chance.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Pardon? Hey, I'm giving it all away now, so for free.
It's an audio book.
It's for Ulti TV.
Exclusive. So we've just had the time cap go, so it is going to be this point +1. So I'm sure the Titans would love it to be game to 11. Oh, good attack by
Very
Alice.
nice. Very quick break side look. And
Yep,
here
now
we
they've
go.
got
He's
to
generaling
reset the
again from the
stack.
back.
Oh my god.
Very interesting look.
Don't like that. But Sean's good enough to.
And they've done enough
like
to
that
stifle
either.
it, and
Way
then
too
you get the
tricky.
turn. You stifle the upfield. That's a team D from upfield, but then
I guess that's a self
They
D.
did
I
enough.
think Johnny will get the
Good point,
the 3
yeah.
points, but I feel like
too speculative looks. Very low pass, great pickup.
backhand
He's got
break.
2 from 3
Man,
of
they have to be
those.
calm. I think they've.
It's a big dump. They're not afraid to dump in a long way back.
Pick
Called / foul, something.
Slash collision in the middle of the field, or stop and have a break.
Running
I feel
quite
like
quickly at each other. It can be.
The Force have a tendency to get lazy on D at this late stage of the game.
Oh!
Well, maybe not Joe. The greatest 10th round
Marty
pick has
been
2
a
to
part
beat.
of everything,
Oh,
and
he's just
this time it doesn't come off.
Like probably maybe a tenth of a
That
second
was
too
Joe's
early.
throw.
Half a step too early. He got himself in great position there. Whee! And Ben will take the 3 points. So that's 6 points for my fantasy team. Thank you. Who, Nick? Yeah, Nick didn't touch it. Yeah, he didn't want to bar it.
So, no, sorry, that was Marty's throw, yeah.
Yeah.
He's been a part of everything. Almost D's, almost getting D's,
That is
getting
a
D,
not,
getting
that's not a
big
good decision
D's.
though. Like at this stage
Throwing
of the
goals.
game, not a good
Yeah,
decision.
throwing
Like, you've got-
throwaways. He's a part of it all.
I think you've got every strong player of the Force on. You want to run them around a little bit more, like really make them tired for these last 2 points that you're going to have to score.
So they've played that that same player a few times from the Horror
and
black team.
Titans just letting it off, but they're not really getting too much of a flow from it.
And Joe's become a bit more of a general back there. When if you give him the confidence, or you put
think-
confidence in him, and you say, yes, take this role. But now he's up, and
Making good
that's
decisions.
Sean's corner. Not coming off. Finally, Sean's feeling what the rest of us were feeling.
Yeah, that looks exactly like a couple of my throws, I think.
Frustrating.
And the greatest 10th
area
round
to
pick
throw
in Super League
into.
history gets another
Also,
D.
not the best option that time.
No. They're way too deep. The wind's maybe picked up slightly.
That's some good dump movement, but Hong can't find it there, but gets a really
Nice
big
little
gainer.
reset to Wilson. Shiny's going to have to come under here because he's way too deep.
They've gone away from the bracket a little bit, it looks like. Slightly less poaching.
Oof, gosh, this is...
Still poaching
I
by
feel like that was
Ben.
a slow stall count there. Hit called. Stop play again. Generally, when people start getting tired, picks happen.
Yeah, the slow stall count, it might have been a marking infraction or something to drop the count.
It's a marking infraction, was it?
Well, maybe. If it seems slow, sometimes that can be why.
Oh, okay. Marty v Keith. I back Marty, but
You never know.
Keith
That's
has
a
done
great,
well. But yeah,
solid catch this time. He
That's-
wasn't going to let someone sneak it from between his arms again.
yeah.
That's like a solid full
Anyone but
forwards
Greg,
mark.
you got to back Marty there. Ooh, damn.
Starting to get a bit
9-10, gain to 11. And the post,
All right, East
The
Adelaide
post-time
lost
time
a
out.
bit of their smiling and laughing, except for Murray, of course.
oh, Keith did so well there.
Starting to get a bit
I
frustrated.
don't know if Marty was in either. He was, maybe. You got a freeze frame on that, Mike? Might have been straddling the line a bit. Might have been straddling the line on that, but like, if you call yourself in confidently and just spike the disc, like who's gonna argue? Yeah, exactly. No lines, just spike the disc and claim it.
There is a rule, and I remember having to use this once, but if you spike the disc you're not in, you can get the disc back. And one mixed nationals in Adelaide, I was about 20 metres from the end zone, and I spiked the disc happily because there was a line running across the field, and the field was confusing, and argued. I managed to successfully argue the point that I felt terrible about it. I was like, oh, embarrassing, shame,
No, very good.
everything
I like
else.
it.
But
I like
but I
using
said,
those.
but technically I get the disc
Is that
back
the
because I was
establishing
spiking
pivot
it.
foot thing? Like, you know, like if you're walking up to the sideline and you drop it or something, or like you're walking up to the front of the end zone,
I think it was in the same realm when they changed the rules to allow the double turnover, a little bit more leniency with that.
I feel like the embarrassment of spiking it outside the end zone.
It was enough punishment. It was a good laugh.
Yeah.
Not for me, but in hindsight.
Was it filmed?
I don't think so.
That's
luckily.
Yeah.
That would be haunting me like intermediate male ultimate.
The ultimate community's favourite meme. The meme shared around the world, I think. Brodie
Smith's page. That was quite nice.
That was
remember
a major coup for you.
Back when Brodie Smith was an ultimate player, not disc golf. He should be earning millions now in disc golf.
Oh, disc golf,
Wasn't
yeah,
the highest player is 5 million, which is good for disc
10 million
sports.
over 10 years.
10 million over 10 years. Imagine that.
That doesn't include other sponsorships and disc sales.
And so disc sports, when I was younger, that was unheard of.
Yeah. Definitely on the up. I think the pandemic really gave disc golf a huge boost.
Another roller. Murray's very enthusiastically
so
getting out there, which
you love that player in your team, don't you?
Puts him up a couple levels from his pick.
And then gets another big game. I don't know.
Having a fantastic game. Don't know what the call was here.
No idea.
It was a pick.
No. He knocked it a
There's a
football.
suggestion that they're making him take it back to the spot. No, I think it was just a pick. And I'm surprised a little bit that wasn't put.
Oh! Can Murray save the day
And
again?
Murray again, almost
Shiner,
getting there. Shiner gets the D with his ankle in the end.
Oh my gosh!
Look at this. He gets the D, then gets it with his ankle.
He almost taps
here.
into Murray's hand.
Yeah,
oh
there
my
we
God.
go. Gets the D with his ankle. That's very fortunate.
Titans need to walk this in. Play safe, play smart.
And here we go. Wilson is cutting hard, and Ben is sticking to him now. No more poaching. Sam up the line. Beautiful play. They've been doing that well all night. And Hong has taken off Ben's
Love
poach.
that hold by Marty.
Sam on the break side, and now they have the connection, but no continuation there.
I like this bounce.
Swinging it back. I think that can wear teams down over time.
And it gives you, just opens up options, even if the options aren't there straight up.
And here we go. Ben sticking a bit tighter again to Wilson now. Now he's poached, and there was a call along the
I think maybe
before that.
Hong has called a fast count, or
is this wise? Ben poaching off of Wilson, their number one cutter.
Is that? Oh.
It's a good matchup if Ben sticks to him. It's a great matchup.
I don't want Hong to throw that throw.
The cursed corner.
What do you think the percentage of that? The percentage of that throw's been like maybe 15.
For the night, it's been disgusting.
Not good.
for the up the line look, yeah. It's hard to resist though, because every time you get it, you think, this time I can get it.
Yeah, I've learnt.
This time I'll get it.
You haven't learnt.
And the other option, which is a round break with someone on them, is so hard to turn to.
What about the cross-field blade flick to Nick off the back of the stack?
Ooh,
what do you reckon the percentage on that is?
Something you may throw. Oh, you would do the hammer.
Nah,
oh, here we go. And
hard.
connection. Oh,
Murray.
Murray's got it. And he's running hard deep. Here we go. And a cool head with Joe. He's kept it cool. That's what you need.
Murray's getting heaps of love from the crowd on the sideline.
And he's got it again.
Oh, he's cutting so hard. Nick has to know he's on the key player at this point. He's taken off to the end zone as well.
And again, Joe's keeping a cool head, and this time they get the easy open. Well done.
Force to put it in.
The scramble. And is that game?
That's game.
What a cracking point to finish on. That was exciting.
Marty's
very
done,
disappointing
Wilson's
for
done.
Wilson's team. I think they pulled it together. They really
great
looked
fight
the stronger
back.
team.
Great fight back from
in the second
8-3 at half.
Absolutely. To be honest, even in the first half, like you say, they looked the stronger teams. Well, I don't know if they always looked the stronger team, but there was those little things where you drop it in the end zone and suddenly it's a 2-point difference. And so they turned that around, brought it back.
For sure. Murray,
But-
absolute hero of those last few points.
A bridge too far. Well,
And that's it for round 6 of Super League.
that was nice. We
That was
talked
great.
about doing this together. I didn't feel the best after the first game, but that was fun.
I
Thanks,
knew
mate.
it would be fun, Maddox. Thanks for commentating with me, and thanks for watching. Get into the comments and tell us how you think Wilson should have captained his team, or Ben. We love
Just
some
comment it up.
third-party
It's
criticism
great.
of our captains and players.
Like and subscribe as well.
Like and subscribe. Support the Ulti TV Patreon.
It's my
Huge
first
thanks
day.
to Mike for coming out and running the one-man show on
Massive
the
thank
pole
you,
and the
yeah.
football.
Remember to help Mark at the end of the day.
We'll see you again in the new year. Thanks.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Ulti TV.